All right, now.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Ragsdale channel, where this is another episode of Ask Uncle Curt. I'm Curt Murray. We got on the panel, we got Pastor H.G. Ragsdale Sr., we got HG2, Harold Can Fly. Hey, it's another continuing conversation. If you remember last week, we had discussed obstacles, right? Being the monkey wrench in your own family's plans. And today we're going to present a little evidence, a visual prop to continue this conversation. And so right now we're going to get off into this and we'll be back with the discussion in a minute.
Man accused in the death of his 2-year-old son faced a judge tonight. 20-year-old Arius Williams is being held without bail after a judge deemed him a flight risk. Police say 2-year-old Montrell Williams was last seen on May 10th with his father at an apartment in Hunts Point. Court documents reveal that just before midnight, later that night, Williams was seen on surveillance video throwing his son off a bridge into the Bronx River. The toddler in Williams' custody under a visitation order. Police say the little boy's body was found in the East River yesterday.
How old was he?
Want to save money on your car insurance?
How old was the father?
Jerry is.
Hold on one
How
second.
old? Yeah, no, I'm just asking.
Now, what was that? What was that you asked?
How old was the father?
20.
20.
Okay. Wow.
I'm in shock. Even though I'm familiar with it, everything that we spoke about last week, this is not a blame game. This is math, right? And I don't care what anybody say. Let's start with the fact that whatever was going on, this guy took the easy way out and chose death. Now, where do you get a reference point for how he handled whatever stress he was going through to cause him to throw his son, his seed, his legacy? He threw it all away, including his own life. So you done killed generations and you done set yourself up for hell. And I don't know who his mama is. I don't know who his daddy is. But that's the result of somebody's seed. Somebody grew that seed up and look what the fruit bore. Right? So, Pastor, how do you see this? See, in all honesty, guys, look, I don't have children. I've never been a father. Right? So on some stuff, I'm real like this. I stay in my lane as a man. When we're speaking on issues of how children or son looks at his parents, that's something I know about. But to see a young man be so frustrated or whatever it was that he gave up, was it over the baby's mama wasn't doing what he wanted to do? Or I don't know. You two guys are fathers, so I'm real interested to hear y'all's perspective, bro, because I'm outdone.
To be honest, I can't relate to it. I cannot relate to it for the pure fact I wasn't given an opportunity to raise my children all the way through. And I come from a 2-parent home, so I can't relate to it. All I can see is may he rot in hell. I mean, the dude it's common sense. Whoever the mama is, she chose the wrong dude to bear seed. It's obvious that it wasn't no marriage, no God in it. It was a God in it. It was the wrong God involved. He probably stepped into his fatherhood before he ever stepped into his manhood. Everything was done butt booty backwards, and it was some kind of mental blockage. But in our community, if you notice, those are what our women fall for. A person like that shouldn't even have access to his child. Those are the ones you put restraining orders on. Those are the ones that need to be kept away from their children. Not the ones that love their children. So I can't really relate to that because I wasn't given a chance to raise my children. You know what I'm saying? They were snatched from me. So I can't relate to that punk. All I can see is punk. And the mama's a punk too. The whole chicka-chaboom, the way I was raised, the mama and the daddy shouldn't have never laid down. For real. That's from where we come from, ain't nobody right in that circle. The whole circle is foul. You dig? I mean, ain't no good in that.
Yeah.
No good in that. You can have it, Punch.
Yeah, y'all said that he's 20. So the whole stepping into fatherhood before you step into manhood, I think that's a big portion of it. But also I think what kind of mindset he was in when he did something like this, I don't know. I don't have the facts. It's like many other things going on right now. I don't have the facts. I don't have the context behind it. But I don't know. It seems like something that a young kid would do when they get caught up in their feelings, you know? So I think it did have something to do with the mother of the children, and he got caught up in his feelings, and something like that happened. And I don't think that, I don't know, do we have any word from the mother? Do we have any like follow up on her? Like, what's her mind? I mean, I assume that she's like heartbroken over it and everything, but I want to hear her. Like, we don't have details. I don't have details. I'm like a hood detective. So,
well, here's the thing about details on this right here. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
oh yeah, no. At the end of the day,
No, I mean, I'm
it
just
doesn't
saying
matter.
from my standpoint.
Yeah,
I don't.
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
No, I wasn't trying to say that you were trying to take up for him or nothing like that. I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things, here's what I see. I see you sacrificed your child for your own selfish endeavors, whatever that was, even if it was just to be free of your responsibility. That was a ritual of sacrificing your child for something selfish. You're no different. You're no different than a child sacrifice person. You're not. You just did that.
And that's a to me, that's a put it like this. It was spiritual and a demon took over. But where did he get that spirit of vindictiveness from?
Yes, your flesh gave him fertile ground.
Yes, he was very vindictive. Somebody ticked him off and he probably said, how can I get her back? Now, let's reverse that.
Yeah.
When a man is not doing the right thing with a woman, she'll say, how can I get him back? Take what he loves from him.
Boy.
So it's the same thing.
You dropped the bar right there. You dropped the bar.
Thing. So
to the bottom.
It goes back to feelings, nothing more than feelings. As a man, You've got to know how to get out of your feelings and bring your feelings up under subjection. That was a 20-year-old dude. His mind wasn't even mature enough. He had no business having no child in the first place. In the first place. So either way, I thank God. And my belief is that child is in safe hands. I'm not saying it's right, no, because it's totally wrong. Totally, completely wrong. But that goes back to, are you your own obstacle?
Because if you are, as a father, you're the obstacle for every generation after you. That's how deep it is. And when I went back and looked at last week's show, I felt like this, especially when the part where I was talking about my own reason why I didn't have kids and everything, bro. Here's the truth of the matter. I wasn't emotionally equipped. So what if I would have had kids? What would I have been? I don't put myself morally over this young man. I'm saying I was self-aware enough to know, boy, you can't even stay in one place for 2 weeks. How you gonna go make a baby? And bro, I'm outdone with this, because I looked at the young man and I see nothing but spiritual oppression. I don't see somebody that I hate. I don't see somebody that I think is this or that. I see somebody that gave it all away.
Yeah. Yeah.
To a power that he thought was going to solve his problems. Man, you don't take nobody and throw him over a bridge, bro. Nah. And that's more than mental illness, bro. And it's evil beyond a person's comprehension. When you said, man, he may have been so fertile ground where a demon could just walk into him, just boop. Yeah. Whereas me or you, they got to warm us up or get us to violate ourselves over and over and over again. But whatever it was on him, it was 100%
easy access.
Man,
yeah. I'm had to be drugs. I can see drugs, some serious stuff. He was but most at 20.
Yeah.
I mean,
look, man, this is another thing. Whoever's watching, hey, I used to pee in the bed. I don't do that no more either. But I'm going to tell you this. I've experimented with a lot of stuff, drugs, all that, when I was young. None of it ever when have you ever heard Kurt doing some heinous whatever? So that ain't no excuse to me.
Right. True.
That is zero excuses. Right. So I ain't gonna try to figure it out, but what I did see, did you see the way that dude looked, bro?
Yeah. He
don't have no soul no more.
Right. He looks soulless.
He don't have no light shining, none.
Yeah.
Now,
and to be attracted to that, I don't even see how he even made a baby. I mean, not trying to be funny, but the mama got to be trash to even be attracted to that dude, because he looked. I mean, that wasn't. No videos. Everyone, there's no videos of her right now, but everyone shouldn't. Again, it goes back to stepping into a spiritual realm that you're not ready or mature enough to step into. And it goes back to his reference point. Did he have a father in his life? Did he have even a proper caring mother in his life? Because if he'd have had anyone to talk to, anyone that was halfway sound mind, they would have told him, bring that baby over here, boy, and you go on about your business. So I'm looking at everybody in that circle. I hate to say
We
it
got to
like
stay
this,
on this one. I really want some answers. I really do, bro.
the whole circle, bro. To me,
That's thinking, man.
yeah, the whole circle is like at fault. I mean, I pray that I'm never in a situation like that. But I don't see how anyone could be a relative and not take some kind of blame, or take some kind of responsibility for this child being thrown in the river like a piece of gum wrapping or some spoiled food or whatever, just like not worth nothing. But before we go any further, we got one more for y'all. And look at this. It's a spirit. Y'all, the devil is busy.
Look at your... I ain't gonna say it again. Go ahead, bro.
It's busy. Check this one out, Punchy.
Concerning the tragic disappearance of a 3-year-old girl. A second arrest has been made in the suspected murder of Nola Dinkins. This as the young victim's mother was charged with her death and for filing a false police report. It's Wednesday night, and the big story in Action News is a heartbreaking ending to what started as an Amber Alert that we first reported last night. Nola Dinkins' mother reported she was abducted in Newark, Delaware. Well, tonight it is now a murder investigation after authorities discovered the body of a young girl in a vacant lot in Northeast Maryland, not far from where the mother and her boyfriend lived, both facing charges tonight. Action News reporter Jessica Cortalia has been following the story and has the very latest.
That mother is being held behind bars here in Newcastle County at the women's prison. She will be extradited to Maryland. Just 24 hours after she reported her daughter missing, 31-year-old Darian Randall is behind bars charged with her murder.
Randall is charged with first and second degree murder, first degree of child abuse resulting in death of a minor under 13.
Maryland State Police say the body of a young child fitting the description of missing 3-year-old Nola Dinkins was discovered this afternoon in a vacant parking lot in Cecil County, Maryland.
Sadly, this incident is now being treated as a homicide investigation by the Maryland State Police. Our detectives are continuing to work closely with the FBI.
Randall told police her daughter had been kidnapped at gunpoint along the 500 block of Gender Road in Newark around 7 o'clock last night. Police issued an Amber Alert for the little girl. Hours later, police learned
that the initial report provided by Randall was false and that Amber Alert was subsequently canceled.
Maryland State Police say Randall's boyfriend, 44-year-old Cedric Antoine Britton, is charged with accessory to first and second degree murder and failure to report a child death. The couple lived at this home on the 300 block of Elk Nest Drive in Northeast Maryland. Neighbors who did not want to go on camera say Britton attended their neighborhood HOA meeting last night around the same time the little girl was reported missing. The chief medical examiner in Baltimore is working to identify the remains of the victim.
They are consistent with those belonging to a child.
Speechless.
Golly. What is really happening, bro?
Okay, my initial question. What was her name again? The mother's name? Darian Randall?
Something like that.
Sounds about right.
Did this woman give birth to this child? We don't have that information yet. I was just confused.
It looks like she looks like the little girl looks just like her mother, just like her mother. But now the question is, the boyfriend may not be the father,
right.
But it doesn't matter who did it now, because when the mother told the police that her daughter was kidnapped, You man say everybody in that circle is back again. Everybody in that circle. No one was looking out for the little girl. As a parent, it is your job to protect the child. Okay? That child was not protected. That child was unalived in the presence of their mother. I'm not saying who did it, but the way it's looking, them two are locked up and the boyfriend right now is accessory. And if he did it and the mama what is going along with his story, say, man, may they both burn in hell.
That's all I can say about that.
Straight up, because she just as sorry and unworthy of being a mother than if she did do it. Because you trying to cover for this, and he done unalive your baby. Again, why not just say, man, take your children to the fire department and tell them right now, I can't do it. Don't, and come on, man. She said a white person held her at gunpoint and kidnapped her daughter.
See,
come on. Come on, Punchy. Who does? What white couple is going to stop on the highway in an SUV, put a gun to a black woman's head and take her black child?
And let her live.
And let her live.
And they put out an Amber Alert.
That's
malice of forethought.
Yes, thank you.
That's what made them mad.
Sounds like cat in the bag.
Huh?
Sounds like cat in the bag. You haven't seen that show? Never mind.
Right.
It's this show called Them, and it's cat in the bag. I'm not going to spoil it for any other watchers.
All I'm saying is, everyone in that circle has a hot furnace in hell.
Yes.
Everyone in that circle, man. The whole circle. That goes back to what Uncle Kurt said last week about, are you the obstacle? And then it goes back to blood. What kind of blood are you letting in your body? Life is in the blood. What kind of spirits are ejaculating in your spirit and procreating? Who you creating?
Yeah.
Who you reproducing with?
Man, because any relationship is an energy exchange.
Yes.
So if you laying down with a killer, you're a killer. You laying down with a hoe, you're a hoe.
Exactly.
You going to sleep with a bad parent, you're a bad parent.
Exactly.
Straight up. We in this together, man. And they wrong together.
Yeah.
And the first boy, let me get back to him. First of all, he looked like a BB. And that rhymes with rich boy. I say that.
Yeah.
And he looked like a little feminine, little coward. His whole aura was he didn't have no soul. That's what he looked like. Now, what happened to him for that to happen? I don't know. But man. Look, everybody that had a problem with what I said last week, because I did catch some personal, for you guys out there, you women who contacted me and thought I was talking about you, hit dogs holler, first of all. And this is what I was talking about. This type of stuff. So before you go judge in the Ragsdale's channel and ask Uncle Kurt, we presenting math formulas and we're showing you what it adds up to. Everything we talked about last week, We just showed you 2 results of that math.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And no one is right in that. Everyone is, and the sad part about it, the malfunction and the dysfunction, who is paying the price?
Huh.
The children. The children is suffering.
Their lives are getting ended to make somebody else's lives better or less stressful. And these people just happen to be the ones that God put in charge of their soul. Yeah. That's the truth.
And isn't that very, very selfish? Both of those acts was a selfish act. Both of those incidents, both of those tragedies, those are not incidents or accidents, tragedies is a selfish act. When a person can't get over their self, you know,
yep.
I can almost see the argument in the car with the boyfriend and the girl. And you need to shut that girl up. Oh man, I can see all the bad in it.
Yep.
And all I can see is the little baby paying for the parents' ignorance, the selfishness of their parents.
Yeah. Yeah. And a momentary buy-in to your feelings cost your kid their life. For a moment of a fleeting moment of your feelings, you done ended what God started. God put that child here. That child didn't ask to be here. And he put you in charge of the child, of a precious soul. You're going to burn in hell for that.
Yeah, hot spot in hell.
I'm not sending you there.
Nah.
I'm not sending you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say,
man.
What is this word? Well, we all know that those are, but see, we let so many spirits in. We fall for everything. Anything that's of God, we question it, but we don't question the enemy. And then our children follow that same crooked way. And then everyone's saying they're chasing the back. No, they're not chasing the back. We live in a very selfish society. Those children are no longer here off of someone's selfish, vindictive spirit. If you could ever learn to get over yourself, for real, those children did not deserve any of that. And you know what? It's a lot of people right now that was spiritually unalived in their childhood, and they're messed up adults right now. And then they'll have a parent to say, I did the best. No, you didn't. You didn't do the best you could. You done what you wanted to do.
Yep.
Stop lying.
Yeah. And it's oftentimes you did the easiest thing.
Yes. And the only thing you regret is the child.
Yep. The result.
Yeah, you regret the result. You don't regret the action of you were sinning. You made a baby out of wedlock. You had no business having premarital sex in the first place. But you don't care nothing about that. You just regret having a child with the person that you had them with.
Exactly.
Your nasty, devilish self.
Ooh, wait, bro.
Well done it. People need to stop lying.
We got to make a stand somewhere, bro. And this right here, what you just showed, that's going on, right? It's happening to somebody's kid again, right
now.
If they're showing and watch how they parade this around. And believe it or not, we got so dumb of a. It's gonna be some people trying to imitate this.
Yeah. Top it. They're gonna try to top it.
Yes. Bro, I'm actually sick in my stomach watching them 2 videos, bro. My heart hurts for to see children done like that, bro. I don't get it, man. I mean, I don't have nothing smart to say, bro. That's pure evil.
It's the
devil. I want to find out more about their background, because the fact of it, the matter is, there's lessons to be learned. I want to find out about the reference points for the first boy. I want to find out about that mama. I want to find out what his background is. And I'm just interested to see if anything we've been talking about lines up with these backstories, to be honest.
Well, I'm
because it looks like it looks like a duck, and it's walking like a duck, and it's talking like a duck.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Yeah, it must be a duck. But if I was the mama in that first case, say, I wouldn't claim none of that. I was at work.
That's what they said.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that. They say
battle.
It was a custody battle. There it is.
Oh, this nigga. Oh, man.
It was his turn to get him. She was at work. He had him for the weekend. And the video shows him actually throwing the little boy over the bridge. And on the video, I found one where they had a vigil for him, and the Amy spoke and said that on the video, the little boy was calling for him when he was doing it. I don't even see that.
Oh my God.
But he had him. It was his weekend.
Say, y'all, he was calling daddy as his daddy was throwing him over the river.
And somebody watched him.
And somebody watched him do it.
They recorded
him do it and then go.
And didn't rescue the baby. And the boy was calling for his daddy. Say, man, it's a spirit. And if anyone say, man, I plead for people to go back to God. Please. Go back to God.
And get out of this religious view of God.
Yes.
We ain't talking about being somebody who somebody else says is godly. We're talking about getting a real relationship so you don't have to walk around and pretend. See, this church stuff is supposed to be you're meeting up with like-minded, spiritually like-minded people.
They are. They meeting up with like-minded people.
There you go.
They just like them.
A den of iniquity is what the church has become. And this is what we're producing.
Yeah. They're showing that mess. They out there gallivanting and dancing to claiming that it's gospel music and preaching and lying and sleeping around and being vindictive and whoremongering and witchcrafting and everything else. So yeah, all like-minded people.
And fame chasing.
That's it.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying go back to God. Yeah. Because if you go back to God, all that the Bible says that the poor shall be among you always. Well, maybe all this behavior is part of the poor. It could.
You know what I was thinking? What I was thinking throughout especially after the second story, it made me think like this seems like the aftermath of Sodom and Gomorrah never, was turned to rubble.
Right.
Yeah. It's like if that happened, it's like living in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what it felt like. I think. Am I saying that right? I know. Am I saying that right, Pastor?
Yeah, we're living in Sodom and Gomorrah time.
I'm catching what you're saying.
We're living in that time.
Yeah. That's unusual evil. I mean, we all do bad things. We're all sinners, right? This is something else.
Yeah. If he comes down here today and he asks a good man to pick him out, 10 good people, we're going to all be dead because he won't be able to find 10 that have never ever in their life committed a sin.
If you look at our society, man, we too busy judging and not enough loving. No one loves. Everyone is judging everyone.
Looking for the bad.
Yeah.
Waiting for the bad.
Waiting for the bad. So we're putting out bad seed, and it's getting worse and worse. That's why he said it won't be water. It'll be fire next time.
Coming through like a blowtorch.
He's going to use fire to end it this time. And we're witnessing the end time. The Bible says that the Antichrist is here.
Yeah.
Not coming.
Hey, Iran and Israel are fighting. That's the Prince of Persia. Go look up your Bible and look up the land and look at the wars that are happening on those lands.
They always
fighting. Here.
Yep.
Yeah, they always fighting.
Yep. And they've been fighting ever since the Bible. They just changed names.
They always fighting. They never stopped. They never stopped. Yeah.
We gotta recognize, man. Hey, and it ain't no accident that God had us do that show last week. And lo and behold, we getting ready to start seeing over these next weeks how spiritually we have become everything that we hate. We're doing to our children what they used to do to us.
Yeah.
This you remember that girl, that lady, that white lady that had her 3 boys and she took them to that river and ran them in that water and said a black man did it out there in Rockwall. She ran them kids in that river and said that a black man did it. It's the same thing.
But we always imitate.
You just imitate. And then they get when black people imitate things, we beef it up. How can you throw your 2-year-old over a bridge
on video?
Cry. And you hear him crying. How you do that? And you not jump in to save him after you've done it. Like nothing. You just stood there and watched him.
What about the person that filmed them?
Yeah, y'all
right. That's why I say the whole circle is full of the devil.
I like to meet them.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all because for some reason people see good in the devil. I don't see good in the devil. The devil's job is to steal, kill, and destroy. If he can get your mama, he'll get your mama to get that child. If he can get your daddy, he get that daddy to get that child. His job is to steal, kill, and destroy. He don't love nowhere. So what I'm saying is we've got to start back using God math.
Yeah.
Because when you stop using God math, you get these wrong answers and these wrong results. You get these old upside down fractions with these old mixed up negative equations.
Right. And 2, dealing with each other in love don't mean placating or buying into things that are not healthy or productive or of God.
No.
You might have to check somebody you love in love.
Yeah.
Not hate. There's a way to bring an issue and get it resolved without using hate. So what I'm saying is love ain't all about sugar plums and lollipops. And we're not, every time my dad had to whoop my butt, it was because he loved me and he wanted me to realize my wrongs because I knowingly broke his rules. That's called rearing your child.
Yeah.
Out of love.
Yeah.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
No. Did it feel good? No. Matter of fact, it hurt. But it was for my better.
We just talked to a group of 13-year-old boys in the mall just a few minutes ago. And the one that stood out was the first one that came up to me. His name was CJ. CJ or DJ, one of them. But just started talking to the spirit just started leading me just to say something to him. And I told him, I don't know why I'm talking to you. I said, but you need to hear it. So I called baby over there, to really enlighten him and give him some insight. He don't want to listen to his daddy because his daddy and mama broke up. And he mad at him. But I asked him, I said, do you know what being rebellious means? He said, no, ma'am, I don't. I said, it just means to really just go against, just to give you an insight on what it really means to what you're doing. You're going against everything your daddy is trying to build up in you because you're being rebellious. Just listen to him.
Ask him tell him what he said when you said, why come you don't?
I said, why don't you listen to your daddy? He said, he just do too much.
Okay, Punchy. Kurt, who says them kind of remarks?
Women.
Thank you. That's my case.
A woman will say that quicker than a man.
Yes, men don't talk like that. A man will sock you in your eye.
Yeah. So he said
before he talking like that.
He said
that's some women stuff. He getting all that from his mama.
I told him that, and then I also asked him. I said, so enlighten me on what that means. He said, what does what mean? And I said, you say your daddy do too much. Tell me what that means. Oh, he said, well, he always what did he say? He always nagging, he always fussing, he always this and this. I said, is he nagging and fussing, or is he just requiring you to be better? He said, yes, ma'am, that's what it is. He is.
You got standards and rules.
He said he's requiring me to be better. I said, is he making you live up to his standards, or is he making you live up to your own standards where he's requiring you to be a better you? And he said, that's what it is. He is requiring me to be a better me and better than what he was. I said, because he's already been there. I said, listen to your daddy, man. He ain't telling you nothing wrong because he loves you.
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah, we just had a whole conversation. He listened. He listened to everything we said to him. And then his other little friends came up. It was a group of them, about 8, 9 of them. He told them to subscribe to our channel, and they asked him what we were talking to him about. He said they were talking to me about my daddy. That's what he told them. And they was all listening. Boy, when baby started talking, they all started huddling around him, talking about soccer and football. They was just eating it up. They wasn't no disrespectful kids either. Yep. They wasn't over talking. They was
know why? They saw a black man that they had to respect.
Yeah, they
exactly.
Like, it was love. The little kids was love. And you know what they did? They all subscribed to the channel.
Yeah.
13-year-old boys.
Big up to them boys from Colonial Heights Middle School.
Onward and upward, young men.
Yeah.
Onward and upward.
Nose tackles.
Yep.
They
soccer players.
Yeah, the soccer players.
Yep.
Hey, keep in touch. I might come see y'all play.
Yeah, cool little group of boys. Cool group of boys. And you know what? They were more receiving than these older black people that we ran into. We ran into this black lady that we actually bought some oil from, and she was rude and disgusting. You understand? And she was expecting people to buy her stuff. You know why babies bought her stuff? Because it was a young black man standing up there that had more sense than she did, and he wasn't even the one that was selling her stuff. But he got her also.
Yep, and I told her you need to give him a discount.
Didn't he?
I bought this because of him.
Because I wasn't gonna buy it. That's exactly what he told that old heifer.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna buy nothing from her. And the young man subscribed.
He should
right there on the spot.
And she had to give him a discount.
And turn around and thank me for just sitting there talking to him.
Wow.
Say, love. One thing I've learned about love, and this is what young people, old people, everybody gotta get through. The ultimate love that Christ showed for us was, we'll never be able to describe the pain that he went through for us. Now, one thing I've learned about sometimes love hurts.
Yeah.
But one thing I've learned about love never harms. And nowadays, people don't like to be hurt.
Yeah.
That's why people unalive themselves. That's why no one has no spirit, no godliness. They have no endurance. They always in divorce court. We're in and out of relationships because no one even wants to be hurt. But when you get out from under the covering of God, you leave love and hurt to death and harm.
Yep.
That's what the enemy does.
Right.
Y'all notice with both, neither one of these stories had any kind of marriage in it.
Nothing.
Say, people would rather raise their children up in broken stuff. I know very few women that really, when they got out of their marriage, they was really single. Really single, biblically. Because biblically, when you're single, you're supposed to be married to God. God becomes your spouse when you're single. Yep. That's biblical. Now, I don't know of no man that was single and said, I just give myself to God. He lying.
Right.
We do everything devilish. And then we take our devilish behavior and say, God, please help me.
I've been there too.
Yes. Yes.
Me.
When you're a single young lady,
guilty.
You don't supposed to be out there dating and opening your legs up to your favorite ding-a-ling. He said, I read a scripture that said, I wish that you be single like me. So you could give yourself to God all the way. Yep. Because when you get married, you got to give yourself to that spouse. So we so worldly. Well, I'm single, so I could go out there and get it. And then they do this little gay thing. Ooh, don't do that mess. I'm like, say, man, y'all the devil. But yeah, the devil, bro. The devil. The devil. All of that stuff is the devil. And these dudes, I don't even, you know why I don't talk about the dudes, man? Because there's so many spineless, wishbone type spineless dudes out here. Say, man, I remember when we was coming up, the women, you remember SWV and them women groups, TLC, they came out and they would wear a thong and let you see that they got on a thong and stuff, almost teasing you, letting you know, hey, I got a booty on me and I'm sagging. They letting you know that nowadays. And that's why I say I don't even have nothing to say this boy. The boys showing you the brand of their drawers, let you know this booty here is available.
Yeah, and in church, why the men? Some of the men getting their suits cut in the back like women, so they booty can show.
Yeah,
what is that?
You see, little Kurt Franklin with them skin tight body suits on, and he just a gyrating and Kurt, I give you your props, but let me tell you something. When you do a show on the BET Awards and you let Kevin Hart, really, that was a serious reprimand. That's why the church really needs to go back to God. When the world tell you God didn't call you to twerk your front like that, stop that. God didn't tell you to do that, Kurt.
Yeah, man.
When the world tells you you're wrong,
you're
wrong.
Hey, and it's Kirk with a K.
Yeah, it's not Kirk, it's Kirk.
Yeah, Kirk.
Like Captain Kirk.
Yeah, he had on some underwear. He had on some underwear and a tank top at a concert that he did for a church. And he was just sitting there grabbing on himself and throwing himself around. You know, they asked him, they told him to stop the taping and put him out.
Wow. Yeah. This
hey,
is
also, let me go on and say this. Cam Newton, stop.
Yeah. Whoa, man.
They gave him a
one. Up there looking like Mrs. Roper off of Three's Company.
Oh, man. He thinks that's sexy. You see, Jamal Bryant told him that when he had sexy legs. That's sickening, man.
Jamal Bryant took over Eddie Long's church.
That's sickening.
Man.
Atlanta, that's enough.
No, he based in Atlanta. Come on, man.
That's sickening. Come on. I see Cam with them boots and the shorts with his legs. He had on some tights and boots.
Hey, man.
Did y'all see that?
Hey.
That's
oh my God.
Say, man. That's why I feel sorry for our youth.
We have
because
he looking at these old fugazi, like these old imposters, bro.
Right.
And you know.
Yeah.
Golly.
That's it. And then you say, well, if that's the kind of man you bring in your house, what kind of fruit you think y'all getting ready to come up with?
Man.
Them oranges ain't gonna grow right. Them apples ain't gonna be right, bro.
Yeah. Have y'all ever seen a blood orange?
Yep.
That's what you're producing.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and they gonna be fruitier than the rest of the fruit.
Yeah, blood oranges are way better than a regular orange. They sweeter. They just much juicier. Y'all, let me tell y'all about this gay TikToker. You know what he said? He said, I don't know why y'all sitting out here saying these women is liking y'all sagging. It ain't the women that you pulling up. He said, it's me. It's my kind. I like to see you sagging, baby. I like to see what you're working with. It makes me happy.
Wow.
That's what he said to the dudes that's out here.
He telling them the truth. He telling them the truth.
He said, stop going around saying it's the females that like it. Y'all are exposing yourselves for us. That's what he said.
That's booty juice a cupcake.
Man.
You know what I just thought about though? And this is kind of a little bit off kilter, but I remember when I was young, the only black quarterback I knew of before Michael Vick was like Warren Moon. Mm-hmm. He is black, right? Okay, so Warren Moon, I didn't know what he looked like. I only knew of him from Tecmo football because we used to play Tecmo football all the time. And that's the only thing I knew him from. Now the kids, these kids that were my age back then, now they're little kids now in kindergarten, elementary and younger. The black quarterback they probably have the most exposure to outside of like, you know, people in the league right now, the legends would be a Cam Newton. You know, he has a podcast. He has a large platform.
Mm-hmm.
And that's their Warren Moon, I feel like.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. That wasn't off kilter. That was right on.
Yeah, that's right.
Right on time.
Right on
And
time.
that's why I think he has a responsibility.
Yes.
Even if he inside you want to dress like whatever you're doing. But bro, you've got, if I'm not mistaken, you've got a lot of children.
And I was just about to say he wants to have more, but does not want to be married. And that woman, that lady got on there and told him.
Yeah, a black doctor, a lady told him
he was broken homes. And she told her she was lying. Yeah. She said, I don't see how you figure that.
Because he got money. He think money is the answer to everything.
Yeah, you create broken homes.
Punchy, watch this. You know who he remind me of? When I was growing up? A guy, BG.
I don't know what that is.
Boy George.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Come.
Boy George, that's who he remind me of.
They come and go.
Elton John.
Yeah.
Little Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Michael.
That's what he remind me of, man.
It's another one.
Hey, and bordering on Shanae and Wanda and bordering.
Not Medea.
Yeah. Borderline on Medea, yeah. For real. Hey man, let's
Cam, no.
We needed that laugh though. We needed that laugh.
Before we sign out, I don't know if y'all remember who the 499th subscriber was, but I don't know. I mean, they might not see this. They might not even watch another video. I don't know what they're going to do, but I just want to be able to know something about them so I can write this poem. That's it.
But I would.
It's a
hold
lady.
up. It's a lady, but I don't think you should single any of them out. I think you should write to the whole 500 because that's a family, and that whole 500 is making us.
That's right.
So I think the poem should be for the whole 500. I clowned enough, but I think you need to come with something sincere about the 500 that's rolling with us.
Amen.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. All right, I don't even need any more information. I got it.
Bless it.
All right.
We went out today and got about 10 more subscribers. So thank you.
Congrats.
Thank the new subscribers.
Yes.
My boy at Liz, what was his name? I don't know your name.
He
but,
on here.
Yeah, big ups to you. He work at Lids. He helped me with some new headgear. So y'all got some stuff coming too.
Tim Brown.
His name Tim Brown.
And Haley Aneen. Haley Aneen is the one that
Haley Aneen.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all. Shoot.
Big shout outs.
Bojo Hansen.
Bojo Hansen.
And
big
dang,
shout
what my
out.
girl name was at Liz. She knows who she is. Cam. Miss Cam, you know who you are. Miss Bright Star she
working
was,
there?
No, she left out the door with Mr. Bobby.
Okay,
She knows who she is.
Thank y'all.
And to our 13-year-old crew.
Yeah, the 13-year-old crew.
Y'all stick with us. Stick with us.
Yeah.
Y'all get your parents to tune in with us. We just some country guys doing this thing and trying to be legitimate, trying to make a difference. If we could just help one.
Yeah.
I remember I wrote a song years ago where at the end I said, if I could save one, I believe my job been done. So if we can help one, through a tough day, you know what I'm saying? If we can encourage one person that's going through a tough time, our job's been done. So that's it for me, Kirk. You can get us out of here. Punch, I ain't got nothing else. Like again, y'all have some stuff on the way.
Hey man.
Yeah. So
this is a joyous work. I just want to say thank you, man, to both of y'all and also Lady T. And hey, y'all like, share, subscribe. And if you do have any subjects that go along with this that you would like to discuss, man, get in the comments and let us know. But until then, hey, if they standing behind you, protect them. If they standing beside you, they allies. We always respect them. But if you're in front of us and you're an enemy, you stand opposed, we show you no mercy. Peace.
Peace.